unprecedented experience for bourbon tourists throughout the world.
It's an honor as much as anything as the 8th generation of our family involved with producing whiskey in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, the grandson of the founders of Maker's Mark, and really having grown up in the distillery to see this wonderful growth and trajectory of tourism that we've all seen in Kentucky as they experience the wonderful growth all across Kentucky. It's exciting for the industry to see the visitors grow, and what's been missing is they've never had a place to start until now. This Welcome Center isn't just an attraction on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. It's going to be an essential first step to help visitors understand what they're about to experience. This Welcome Center also represents another unique aspect of the bourbon industry. All the distilleries coming together to create something that benefits everyone. It's a rare industry where competitors also treat each other as family. And that's why the KDA is so proud to be a part of this. So congratulations to you, Penny, to the board, to Mac Brown for the vision and bringing something together that we can all be so very proud of. Congratulations.
I would not be here today if it were not for the leadership of our chairman, Mac Brown, whose family for generations has shepherded not only their own business in Brown-Forman, but most of the philanthropic efforts in this city. I want to thank Mac personally for asking me to lead this project, getting me involved, and for being the best partner anyone could ever ask for the last 3 years. This has been a fun project, but it has been hard. So we are happy to be here today.
The only thing I can start off saying, wow. I mean, this is truly exciting for those of us who were thinking about this day 5 years ago, and it's now here. It's just fabulous. This might seem like a mutual love society, but I got to start off and thank Penny. I have to thank her for just her unbelievable leadership and hard work to make what was a vision into reality. As she said, there have been a variety of difficult times and issues, but because of her creativity and her strength, she was able to take us all and bring us forward as we went. So thank you, Penny, for everything you've done. I also want to recognize the Frazier team for the hard work that they have done, not only in putting together this exhibit, but the hard work they've done in the transformation of the Frazier Museum. You know, while this exhibit is a very important anchor that will draw tourism to the community, it definitely fits within the Frazier vision. Let me share that with you. It's to be a compelling destination that makes the Frazier a home for Kentucky's culture, heritage, and relationship to the world. Thus, for the Frazier's tagline is where the world meets Kentucky. And in this way, through this positioning, I truly believe that we will look to take the Frazier to become a very serious showplace for this community. And we're all very excited about that. I also want to thank Eric Gregory and the members of the Kentucky Distillers Association, but especially the task force that really helped develop the vision of this exhibit. And finally, I want to thank the board and the other stakeholders who really supported this effort and gave us tremendous guidance and advice. You know, as I said, the Spirit of Kentucky exhibit will move the Frazier forward to become a leader in bourbon tourism. And through the partnership with the KDA, we will tell the story of why Kentucky is the best place where bourbon is made. We'll tell the story about the culture of bourbon. And in the process, we'll tell the story about the culture of Kentucky. And finally, we will tell about the importance of bourbon, not only from the distiller's point of view, but also from the farmers and other suppliers who are really critically important in terms of building communities. You see, the story of bourbon is all about community. It's about common values, and it's about people who work together. As Rob referenced, we are an industry who really collaborate. We care for each other. No other industry in the world collaborates and works together like we do. And we are family, and we love being part of each other's success. And that's just fantastic. And my dream is to truly see us to be able to perpetuate this sense of community, to really teach children on how to work together and support each other so that we create great opportunities and prosperity. You know, when starting this museum, Owsley Frazier wrote, "With a greater knowledge of history, we can fully appreciate the great difficulties and the great opportunities that lie ahead. By recognizing our past, we can renew a sense of who we are, what we stand for, and where we are headed." I believe the story of bourbon, which is the story of Kentucky, truly fulfills this vision. And I believe Owsley would be extremely proud of not only this exhibit, but the transformation of this exhibit. When the Frazier decided to tell the story of bourbon, it truly was only natural for us to turn to the members of the Kentucky Distillers Association. Eric Gregory, the president of the KDA, was the first to embrace our vision, and with his support of the KDA and their members, we have achieved this vision. I know together that we're going to really build a greater interest in bourbon, and we're also going to drive and build the tourism for Louisville and all of Kentucky. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Eric Gregory, the president of the KDA.
Well, there's a saying that we have at KDA that we don't care who gets the credit as long as the job gets done. And Mike, I'm going to break with that tradition to single you out and ask for everyone to give you a huge round of applause for being our guiding light. And we couldn't have done this either without the leadership and vision of Penny Peebler. Penny, your determination and persistence has made this dream come a reality, so thank you. Today is a landmark date in the rich history of our signature industry and a dream come true for everyone here who have worked so hard to make this experience a reality. Mike, it's hard to believe that it's been 3 years, 7 months, and 16 days since the KDA and the Frazier signed a letter of intent to begin exploring the concept of a Bourbon Gateway Center, a starting point that would educate visitors about why Kentucky is the birthplace of bourbon, why Kentucky is the one true and authentic home for bourbon, and entice you to visit our legendary distillers and our next generation craft members to explore the art, science, and culture behind America's native spirit and learn more about how each brand is different. It's been fascinating to watch this project come to life, and I have to thank all of our members who have invested time and financial resources in its development, specifically Brown Foreman, Heaven Hill, Michter's, Angels Envy, Kentucky Peerless, and Jeff the Creed. We truly appreciate your generosity and support, so thank you all very much. I'd also be remiss without thanking Bridget, Andy, the entire Frazier staff, and their board of directors, the Imagination team for its creativity and innovation, to Peggy Neal Stevens, our dear friend, for first giving us the idea of a bourbon center in downtown Louisville, and all of our friends and partners here today. Let me also recognize and again applaud Chairman Rob Samuels and our KDA board of directors, many of whom are here today, and our hardworking KDA staff, the best in the business. So cheers, team. Most of you know that the KDA was founded just a few blocks away from here in 1880 when a group of 32 distillers gathered and recognized that they could accomplish more by working together than standing apart. Those early pioneering legends set our iconic industry on a path that we celebrate here today, a path that values camaraderie, collaboration, and friendship over competition. That unity, especially in today's business and political climate, as Mike mentioned, makes Kentucky bourbon authentic and unique. And make no mistake, it is one of the driving forces behind our current success. As many people have said today, we are a family. We invite people into our homes through the Kentucky Bourbon Trail and the Kentucky Bourbon Trail Craft Tour experiences. And today, I'm proud to say that our home has a new front door. Congratulations to everyone today, and welcome to the official, exclusive starting point of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail Tours.
In 2014, our mayor, Greg Fisher, launched the Mayor's Bourbon and Food Working Group to explore what it would take for Louisville to lean into bourbonism and bourbon tourism and really make Louisville a culinary and spirits destination. I want to acknowledge Mayor Fisher today for his friendship and his partnership, and invite you to come and tell us a little bit about that dream, because we couldn't have done it without you.
Well, good morning, everybody. I would say this is another landmark moment in the ongoing transformation of our city. To go back to the early days a little bit, we were coming out of the Great Recession. I hope everybody still remembers that. And we were looking at ways on how we could capitalize on the authenticity of our city. Just like a great business, you want to have something that nobody else can have. And it was obvious that for generations that we are the epicenter of bourbon and bourbon distilling for the world. But while we had the Bourbon Trail in place, we really didn't have full-on bourbon tourism like what you would see when you go to Napa Valley and the wine tourism that they've got going on. And certainly the welcoming center that they have in Napa as well. And out of that came the concept of bourbon, and what I think is one of the world's best food cities, restaurant cities. You put bourbon and local food together, you have bourbonism. And so then people snickered, said, oh, what's bourbonism going to be? I said, with the quality, the five-star nature of KDA and our distillers and our local food scene, if we put that together and shout to the highest heavens in the world, people will be coming to Kentucky. People will be coming to Louisville for bourbonism. Lo and behold, it is happening, and it's happening big time. And I think it is clear that the bourbon industry, our local food scene, we still have so much untapped potential. We're in baseball season right now. I would say that maybe we're in the third inning, probably in the second inning of where bourbonism is going to go. So for people to think we're saturated with investment, I think we're just getting started. The world really doesn't understand what bourbonism is and where we're going to be going with this as well. One of the things that we established, and Penny mentioned this, was pull together the smartest minds in both our bourbon and local food scene in 2014 and say, okay, clearly this is going to take off, but let's dream. Where do we need to be in 5 years? Where do we need to be in 10 years? And that's the work product that came out of the Bourbon and Local Food Work Group. One of the things that was recommended was the creation of a KDA, Kentucky Bourbon Trail Visitor Center on Whiskey Row. We said we got to have a place where people are going to go when they want to start. Folks, here we are, and it looks fantastic. And what I so love about this, and Penny, I hope you never get tired of me bragging on the Frazier. I think the Frazier, per square foot, is the most impressive museum in the entire world. Your all's commitment to quality here just goes on and on and on. And you see that here in this welcoming center, and you see it in the new exhibit as well. So just hats off to you, Penny, Mac, the entire board here at the Frazier. Consistently amazing five-star experiences. I want to thank the KDA also for their partnership and vision. There's not many groups where you get up here and hear about their formation in 1880 and what those leaders saw back then. And going through Prohibition and going through the ups and downs And certainly right now we're on a big up as well. But for Eric, you and the entire team, what you guys are doing, just keep doing what you're doing, brother. You guys are doing unbelievable. The KDA. I want to emphasize too, none of this happens without people that can work together. These partnerships between city government, Louisville tourism, the state, our federal partners. I think it should be noted that John Yarmouth is the founder of the Bourbon Caucus with the U.S. Congress. Then you join great nonprofits like the Frazier, the KDA, its members throughout the Kentucky. And this is how wonderful things like this happen here. And so just a little walk down memory lane quickly. Look what kind of results this partnership has made possible in the last few years. In 2011, Fred, how many distillery experiences do we have in our city? Zero. Now we will have 9 this year, representing almost $150 million in investment. We've added our Bourbon District downtown. The Bourbon and Beyond Festival is coming up, which has shattered everybody's imagination of what could happen with bourbon and food and local music. We work with the state legislature to pass House Bill 400 to help meet the demand for bourbon across Kentucky. And I want to commend the legislature for the work they did to help us sell more bourbon in more places anytime as well. Bourbon is helping drive our tourism growth. We're now welcoming 16 million visitors in Louisville a year to our city. Our new expanded convention center and more than 20 hotels have opened recently to welcome visitors to our city. Our restaurant and local food scene is recognized globally now, always mentioned in the top 10 areas of foodie cities. Most recently, James Beard Foundation were one of their top 10 cities on their food tour this year. This is not just happening in our distillers as well. Investment in bourbon is flowing to our small business throughout the region, from artisanal chocolates like next door to bourbon-centered menu items and restaurants. They're getting praise all over the world. And bourbonism is attracting entrepreneurs who come to our city to learn the craft of distilling from the industry's top professionals. This isn't us just bragging. Remember what Muhammad Ali always said, if it's true, it ain't bragging, okay? Forbes magazine recently called us the center of American spirits. And now with the Kentucky Bourbon Trail Visitor Center on Main Street, our bourbon-loving visitors have a fantastic starting point for all things bourbon and food in Louisville and throughout our great state. So final thank yous to Karen Williams, Cleo, Stacy, your all's team at Louisville Tourism. Bourbonism is the central theme, their hook, that's growing our convention business and our tourism business. So thank you guys so much to you all. Penny, you and your outstanding team at Frazier, the partnership with KDA, where now people can come from all over the world and learn about the rich history and culture that we have and really capture the spirit of Kentucky here at the Frazier. So with partnership like this, everybody wins. Congratulations to everybody on what's going to be a beautiful, beautiful journey for many years to come. Cheers.
We're all going to line up and rip this banner down and open her up.
10, 9, 8,